So the Socialists have picked their champion then. What do the papers make of the result? Elena Casas with us here on set a little earlier than usual. What are they saying then, Elena?
Morning, Stuart. Well, all the front pages this morning are pretty much variations on this design from Le Parisien. Pretty much the same photo of him walking out of the Socialist Party headquarters last night. François Hollande with his arms in the air. The headline here is, "It's him." Very celebratory picture. On Libération, they've got a similar front page where you've got a spotlight showing him up here under the headline, The Name of the Rose. Of course, they're playing on the title of Umberto Eco's famous detective novel because the rose is the symbol of the Socialist Party. Inside in Libération's editorial, they say the French picked the most normal candidate, the candidate who spent the campaign trying to present himself as an ordinary bloke, even you could say the most boring candidate, but he looks like the most credible one to take on Nicolas Sarkozy.
How do they think he got here then?
Well, in Libération, they've got a 7-page biography of François Hollande, so you can find out everything you possibly want to know about him. But briefly, they say that having been the Socialist Party's eternal nearly man, he was passed over for ministries during the last Socialist government and spent the last presidential campaign standing at the back of the stage while his then partner, Ségolène Royal, ran for the presidency. They say actually his taking the front of the stage now proves that sometimes slow and steady can win the race in politics. They say he's been preparing for this since at least 2008 when he started to lose weight and employ PR consultants to improve his image, and now it's paid off.
Martine Aubry, she was also a serious candidate, wasn't she? Where did the papers think she went wrong?
Well, there's a good analysis of this in L'Express magazine. They say that she made a few mistakes. Firstly, she got into the presidential race too late. Then there were the rumours that she'd made a pact with Dominique Strauss-Kahn that really dogged her presidential campaign. And then, of course, there was how she characterised François Hollande as the limp left, sort of portraying herself then in contrast as a harder left. And that didn't play very well with voters. The L'Express says they don't want a hard left. They want someone who can appeal to the centrists.
So he's won the battle, now he's got to win the war. Of course, the big fight is against Nicolas Sarkozy. What do the papers think his chances are?
Well, the tabloid François here is really positive about it. They actually compare him to Tony Blair in their front page editorial, which is a bit controversial because his name isn't the most popular on the French left. But they say the comparison is good because he's coming from a party that's been out of power for a long time and he's able to position himself to get centrist voters' support. They actually say at the end of this editorial that it would be tough for him to lose the election because Sarkozy's popularity ratings are so low at the moment. Of course, not all the papers are quite that optimistic about Hollande's chances. If we look at the regional paper Nice Matin from the south of France, they've got Hollande and Sarkozy up against one another on their front page, and they say the worst thing Hollande could do now would be to celebrate too soon. The president is still a tough adversary.
Let's go to the right-wing papers then. Le Figaro, are they trying to take the wind out of his sails?
Very much so, as you might imagine. Their editorial here on the front page says the trouble has only just started for François Hollande. They say he's got two big challenges facing him. One political, trying to regroup the half a dozen different currents of ideological thought that the primary showed that there are in the Socialist Party, and one, if you like, psychological, trying to win round those people who didn't back him within the party and get him to support him quickly.
And finally, I suppose, the whole question about whether this selection process has been good. It's the first time we've had a primary like this here in France. Do the Socialists think they've won that debate?
Well, lots of the papers say that, yes, the primary process was a success, it got voters out, it made the Socialists look like they're more attuned to what voters want, more democratic than the right. But Catholic paper La Croix here has taken a bit more of an in-depth look at what that could mean for the electoral future. And they say that actually if the PS lose this coming election, it will discredit the whole concept of a primary process. And even if they win, they might find it hard to run another primary in 2017 because it would be tough for a sitting president to allow the opponents within his own party that kind of media platform.
Awful lot in the papers this morning. Elena, thanks very much. That's Elena with her look through at the French papers on the elections.